Hello and welcome to the International Daily Roundup by People's Dispatch, where we bring you major news developments from around the world. Our first story is crucial parliament polls are set to be held in the United Kingdom on Thursday. These elections are being held 3 years ahead of schedule due to a deadlock over Brexit. They will have a huge impact not only on the country but on Europe and the world as a whole. We talked to Abdul of People's Dispatch on the implications.
So Abdul, the parliamentary elections in the United Kingdom are scheduled for December 12th. And this is an extremely important election as far as the country is concerned. This might determine the future of Brexit, of the European Union, may have implications on the entire world financial system. So currently, how do you see the possibilities of both the leading parties and what might happen in the coming days?
It looks like, as per the national polls so far, Conservative Party is ahead, quite ahead. Some of them are predicting that they might get majority also at the cost of other parties, not the Labour, the Liberal Democrats and SNP and other people, even Brexit, for example. So these parties will suffer and Conservatives will have an advantage. But this is too early to say, because there are something called tactical voting and other things. At last moment something can happen, and Labour is quite positive at that, and they have seen some surges in their popularity in recent times also. So as if now, we can only say that it is not quite clear till the final results are out.
So what is the implication of, say, the Conservatives who have done a really messy job over the past 2 years, 3 prime ministers and 2 after the last election, nonetheless being able to say, what are the reasons for it? How are they able to emerge so strong nonetheless?
The primary reason is the primacy of the issue of Britain leaving the European Union. This has been the issue which has dominated the British election politics for last 4 or 5 years, and we have seen how this is third election within 4 years or something. So despite the fact that the Conservative Party has not performed on many issues, in fact, they have compromised on several issues. The people are still voting for them because of their strong positions in relative terms vis-a-vis other parties on the issue of Brexit. That is the primary reason. Otherwise, on the other issues, if you see, and that's why I'm saying this, the result of this election is not final yet. Why? Because we have seen how another issue, the issues of public health services, national health services, has basically trumped over the Brexit issue in recent past, primarily after the expose last month, that America is interested in buying shares in the public health system in Britain, which is a very crucial issue. And on that particular issue, Labour has been able to pitch, has gained advantage. So given that particular shift in the last minute electoral politics, I think that will determine the fate. But as if now, the Conservative Party is leading primarily because of the dominance of
Brexit
as an issue.
Thanks, Abdul.
Now for our next story, Saad Hariri, who resigned as Prime Minister of Lebanon after mass protests, has re-emerged as the most likely contender for the post. This is after businessman Samir Khatib withdrew his candidature. Hariri is currently serving as the caretaker Prime Minister. Khatib had emerged as the top contender last week and was expected to be named as Prime Minister on December 9th. It is reported that Samir Khatib announced withdrawal of his candidature after meeting Grand Mufti Sheikh Abdul Latif Derian, the senior-most Sunni cleric, on December 8th. According to the reports, the Grand Mufti told Khatib that he supported Hariri. This may lead to an increase in protests. President Michel Aoun has announced the postponement of the consultations over the leadership till December 16th. According to the existing political arrangement in Lebanon, the Prime Minister can only be from the Sunni community. Protesters have been demanding an end to this quota system. Massive protests in Lebanon began on October 17th. The protesters, who were initially opposing the government's announcement of taxes on popular social media applications, later they escalated into a call for a change in the ruling system itself. Lebanon has increasing rates of poverty, and the government is under massive public debt. Now for our last story, a massive fire broke out in a factory-cum-residential building on Sunday in New Delhi, India. According to official figures, 43 people were killed and around 16 were critically injured. But eyewitnesses claim that the toll could be as high as 100. Eyewitness accounts state that at the time of the fire in the 3-story building, around 300 people were inside. Most of the workers killed were migrant laborers from neighboring states of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. The casualties include children as young as 10 years old, many of whom were residents or relatives of the workers. The building which caught fire was housing various small-scale production units like glass cutting, plastic, toys, bags, and fabric printing. The building had only one exit and no proper fire and safety mechanism. Many of the victims were laborers caught in a cycle of exploitation with long hours, paltry wages, and unsafe working and living conditions. Such fires are common in Delhi, with most of the victims being poor workers. On July 13th, a fire killed 5 workers, and in January 2018, a fire in an illegal firecracker unit in Bhavana killed 17 workers. In that instance, the exit gate was locked by the owner, which turned the factory a burning graveyard as the fire raged. That's all we have time for in this episode of International Daily Roundup. To know more about these stories, you can always visit our website, peoplesdispatch.org. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching.
De pie cantar que vamos a triunfar, avanza ya banderas de unidad y tú vendrás marchando junto a mí y así verás tu canto y tu bandera.